If you're wondering how to make an amazing landscape, take a look on screen because we're going to be editing this photo, but I want you to know first that we're also going to be creating impact with Today Special Edition. So take a look. On screen we have this photo which I took years ago. So remember that you can also look between your photos of old travels, which photos you can fix to look really amazing. So our objectives for today are going to be 1, bring this photo to life. 2, we're going to be recovering the colors. As you can see on the right hand side we have the before and after. And number 3, we're going to create a circular focal point. But first of all, I want to tell you guys how we're going to be creating impact. Today's special edition is to create awareness about Alimenta Venezuela, which is this foundation, and it's an organization that is here to create a positive impact in the world, and their mission is create agents of change while they're leaving footprints and not just steps. They have several programs, and right now we're going to focus on Alimenta Venezuela, which they have their Instagram account, so I invite you guys to take a look at them and follow them, because what they do is that they try to feed as many children as possible in Venezuela that suffer from malnutrition. And not only that, they give them a warm meal through their dining rooms, and because of the pandemic, they are also helping the healthcare workers during this time to thank them for all of their hard work that they're doing right now. So we're going to be creating impact, we're going to be helping, and we have some prizes as we did mention. So I want you to now look at your screen again. We are giving away a Joby tripod. On the left, you can see my camera. I actually received it as a gift, and it was one of the coolest gifts that I've ever had because, well, you can see how much fun I've been having with it. And this is the model that we're going to be giving away right on the right hand side. So anybody that lives in the United States is eligible to win this prize. Plus, if you are in Venezuela, you are going to be winning an amazing dessert from Merengue Caracas. This is the most amazing place to buy desserts in Caracas. So if you're there, go ahead, check their profile out. They are so delicious. And remember that you can always download this photo below on the description. And you can also help because the donate link is down below. So what we're asking you to do today is that if you are watching this and you want to do an impact while we are editing this photo, go ahead and click on that donating link, because only with $5 you're going to be feeding one child for 2 weeks. So that means that one coffee at Starbucks is going to feed one child for 2 weeks. And if you're feeling generous and you want to give $10, you'll be feeding a child for a complete month. Now, this is completely optional because right now we are trying to help and create impact in our community. So we're going to start right now with our tutorial. On our tutorial, we're going to have our Snapseed app open. You can download it. The link is below as well on iPhone or on Android. If you do have it downloaded already, and if you already downloaded the photo, you can locate it. If not, you can just take a look at this video right now so you can have a sense of how it works, come back to it later, and you can play and pause as you're at your own pace and learn how we're going to edit this photo. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm over here, hello, and on my right hand side, I have my cell phone screen, which is actually live. So any adjustments that I'm gonna be doing, you are gonna be doing them with me. So let's start. I'm gonna tap first of all, when I have my Snapseed app open, on the big plus sign, and I'm gonna locate today's photos. So it's gonna open up in our main working space. Now, on screen, I'm gonna be showing you where the tools are. They're right here at the bottom, on the center. And the first tool that we're going to be using is Tune Image. Tune Image helps us with some general adjustments. So I'm gonna go ahead, click on it, and with my finger pressed on the screen, I'm just going to drag up and down, and that's going to bring up your pop-up menu. You can also see the little dots that come up on the screen, and these are my fingers so you can see a sense of where I am placing them on the screen. So I'm going to start top to bottom with the brightness, and as I did mention, we're going to start trying to create a circular focal point, and by that I mean that on this area, this palm tree was so awesome when we saw it that we took this photo, and not only it gives us like this circular sense in the photo, but also if we try to locate the areas where we have the most light, they're right here, and this element is so strong that it's going to create a little circle over here. So we're going to invite our spectators to just take a look at this particular circle in the photo, and we're going to try to seal everything else up by darkening it up, adding some color, adding some light right here, and that's going to lock our viewer's eye into this area of the photo for as long as possible, which is what we want as photographers, and when we share amazing photos that our viewers enjoy seeing this photo and they stay on it as long as they possibly can. So we're going to start with the brightness, and in the brightness we're going to add up to around 41. We're going to stop when we start seeing that all of the information is there and that we have some good details where we can start working. If I go over, then I start losing detail on my sand, and that's when really you want to stop and just go back, and we're going to leave it at around 45. Now I'm going to continue down, and my contrast, I'm going to add contrast. Adding contrast is going to deepen your blacks, and it's also going to enhance your lighter colors. So that's going to help us give us a pop in the photo, which we want to achieve. So I'm going to leave my contrast at around 26. I'm going to continue down, and adding a splash of color was one of our objectives. So we're going to add around 26 on saturation, and this is going to bring out all of these green and yellow colors that we start seeing. We continue going down, and on the shadows, we're going to slightly darken it just a little. I'm going to add -4, and finally on the warmth, I'm going to add around plus 9, and warmth is going to add a little bit of yellow on this image, and that's going to help us with the warmer tone. We can see how the sun is coming through, so this enhances the story that we're trying to tell with this photo. So now that we're done over here, we're going to go to our check mark, and I'm going to show you right here on screen on the bottom right. So just go ahead and click that. We're going to go to Tools again right here, and in Tools we're going to go to our second tool of the day, which is Details. So Details is that inverted triangle. Now in Details, I always like to zoom in to show you guys the effects that we're having when we do the adjustments. We're going to start with Structure, which is the one that pops up automatically, and in Structure I'm going to add around 41 or 45 is good. Now we're going to pop up our menu same as we did before, and in Sharpening we're going to add a little bit of sharpening as well. I'm going to leave it at +16. Now I want you to take a look at your screen. On the top right, we're going to have this little icon. On this little icon, we can always check the before and the after of how our adjustments are looking with this photo. So I always like to take a look at them because they help me continue to know where I am with the photo. And if we do press it, look on screen and look at these leaves, I want to show you how the structure and sharpening adjusted. So this is the before, and here's the after, and many times when we take a photo, we don't realize how fuzzy and soft it is until we add sharpening. So sharpening is a really important step in your landscape photo. It only takes seconds, and with practice, you're going to be doing this really in minutes or even seconds as you go. So I'm going to press my check mark because we're done with our second tool, and we're going to go to our third tool. Our third tool is a really cool one that I love to use with landscape photography. It's called Drama. So I want you to go ahead, press on Drama. Now Drama, automatically, it gives you filter strength of 90. So the first thing I want to do when I'm here, I want to take my finger and just slide it all the way to the left to make sure that the filter strength is 0. I'm going to bring up my pop-up menu and do exactly the same thing with saturation. Slide my finger to the right and leave it on 0. And the reason is because I want to start from 0. I want to have full control over my image, and this particular filter has a very strong effect. So we're going to slowly go back to filter strength and slowly just slide our finger to the right, and we're going to start adding the filter effect until we feel that it's enough and that our photo is not looking as wacky. So I'm going to leave it in 70. Now I'm going to go down to saturation and I'm going to add just a little bit to enhance my yellow tones, and I'm going to leave it in +9. So we're ready with this awesome filter. I'm going to click my check mark, and the last tool of the day is going to be vignettes. So with vignettes, we're going to help our spectators lock into this circular focal point that we talked about. Now with your finger, when you press it on the blue dot, you're going to have a white circle appear. Now I want you to open this white circle as if you were zooming out and make sure that all of the tree and the leaves are inside of the white circle. This is because any adjustments that we're going to be darkening on the outside of the circle are not going to affect anything that's inside of the white circle. So now that we left it right there, I'm going to take a look at my outer darkness. This is at 100%, but we don't want to leave it at 100% because it looks a little bit strange. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to leave it at around, just a little bit more, at around -90. Now the cool thing about this filter is that we can bring up our pop-up menu and it lets you adjust the inner brightness. Now we wanted to add lights in this circle, so I'm going to add light and I'm going to leave it at around 42. So I'm going to press my check mark, and now that we're done, take a look at the screen. This is our after and here's our before. You can see how in 4 steps we managed to make this awesome photo of such an old photography that I had saved up in my archives, and you guys can also look for one as well, because with these 4 tools you're going to be editing an amazing landscape photography. So once we're done, go ahead, click on your export button, and you can save it either on your phone, which is what I'm going to do right now, or you can directly share it with family and friends. So on screen, I'm going to show you what we learned. We learned 4 steps to edit a landscape and the tools to make it look amazing. We added a splash of color and we enhanced all of our greens and our yellows. And additionally, we created a circular focal point, and the focal point is going to be the point where our spectator looks first in the photo. So now that we did this one, we're going to quickly do the second photo, which was this photo over here, and it's a portrait. So I'm going to go quickly through this one. You can always take a look at it again and just do it at your own pace. So first I'm going to look for the photo and open it up, and I'm going to crop it just a little bit. So I'm going to go to Tools, hit on Crop, and I'm going to crop just a little bit to make a tighter photo right on her portrait. This is done. Now I'm going to go to Tools and I'm going to go to Tune Image because I always like to fix my general adjustments first. So on brightness, I'm going to start adding brightness just to brighten up her face a little bit, and I'm going to leave it at around 36. But of course our blacks went a little bit too light, so we want to darken them up with the contrast, and I'm going to add around 22 for the contrast. Again, I'm going to just go quickly over this one so you guys can stop and go at your own pace afterwards in the recorded version of this. Now we're going to go to highlights, and in highlights we're going to recover our highlights, meaning that we're going to darken them up. So sliding my finger to the left, I'm going to darken my areas until I feel that there's enough information on this area on screen I'm showing you, because that's a very interesting area of the photo. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her right now. We're going to continue down, and in shadows, we just want to strengthen our blacks just a little bit. So -6 is good. And warmth, I'm going to leave at +6. So I'm going to go ahead, press my check mark, go back to tools, and this is a really cool tip for portrait photography. Just click on this portraits, and this is going to give you an automatic filter that usually works right off the bat. So you're going to look for combo number 1. Throughout the years that I've been using it, it really just helps me select it and fix it up. You can add a face spotlight, which gives you brightness on the faces, and I'm going to add up to around 48 on the face spotlight, and that's it. Just like that, it really fixes up very quickly any portrait photo that you have. And I'm gonna go back to tools, add a little vignette over here. We're gonna do the same as we did on the palm. So I want to protect their faces, and on the palm, we're going to just darken on the palm. No, just like on the palm, we're going to darken all around the circle, and we're going to bring it to around 43. And this is going to give us some brightness on her because we darkened everything else around her. So I'm going to press my check mark, and for my last tip for portrait photography, I'm going to go to lens blur. Now the cool thing about this one is that you can actually adjust all around this amazing mask, and you can just make it a little bit oval to protect your subjects, and anything that is on the outside of the circle is going to blur down. So on my blur effect, I'm going to leave it at 30. I'm going to make sure that my transition is nice and soft, and the transition is right here. It's this over here. And in the pop-up menu, you can also bring up your vignette strength. I'm just going to, because we already did a vignette strength, I'm going to just leave it at 23, and I'm going to press my check mark, and that's it. How in minutes we edited a portrait photography. Now her story is that this is her home, and this is where her bathroom actually was. And what happened was that obviously there are many tropical storms in Venezuela, and one of them with the winds just ripped out all of the bathroom area of her home, and she was just standing in the middle of the bathroom that is now completely exposed. Now she is the mom of one of the small children that Alimenta Venezuela feeds. So this is the impact that you are going to be helping when you donate. So I want to give you the rules for the contest. It's very simple. The first rule is going to be 1, follow both Photo TV NYC here on YouTube, which means this channel, so you can continue looking at all of the awesome special editions that we're going to have every Friday for Alimenta Venezuela. And check out their profile in Instagram and follow them as well. So everybody can give a little bit, and one small grain of sand is going to stack up. Now, number 2, in Snapseed, just very creatively edit a photo of a landscape using the 3 tools from today. You can use 3 or 4, whichever you'd like, and create something amazing. Just let your creativity go wild. And number 3, post it on Instagram and tag Photo TV NYC as well as Alimenta Venezuela with hashtag #GiveBackLearn. That way we're going to be able to see it, and there are going to be 2 winners, 1 in the United States and 1 in Venezuela, with the prizes that we already mentioned. If you didn't see that part, you can replay this video to take a look at them. And we're going to be announcing the 2 winners on Friday, May 29th at 3 p.m. on our live for the next special edition of this amazing initiative. So if you do feel that you learned something, go ahead and press on that subscribe button, because Photo TV NYC is here for you to help you create amazing photographs. And I am Giselle Behrens, directly from New York City, on amazing tips and tools to create photos. So let's go ahead and make an impact today. Bye guys, thank you so much for joining.